I'm going to give you 3 tips to win your employment case. If you successfully follow all of my tips in this video, I promise you will be in a better position to win your case. So here are the tips. First, write everything down. Second, tell people. And third, do not engage. So stick around because I'm going to explain everything coming up. Nothing in this video is legal advice, but if you want legal advice and you think you have an employment claim in Washington State, feel free to reach out to my firm. The link to my website is in the description below. Now, my first tip is to write everything down. And when I say everything, I mean everything. To win your employment case, you will want to have a written record to use as evidence in trial and litigation. What you want to avoid is getting into a he said, she said kind of situation. Now, courts do consider testimony as evidence too, so your memory about the events is evidence. But you want as much evidence on your side as you can get, and a written record is great evidence. So what are some ways to create a written record? First, keep a journal. Keep a written record of everything that happens as it happens. Include names and dates in that journal and make it legible. Second, take notes. It may seem tempting to make copies of company documents and emails, but much of the time, doing that will violate a policy in your company, and it can actually hurt your case. So instead, what you can do is make notes about important emails and calendar dates. Keep notes about the dates that certain emails were sent or received, the author and recipient of those emails, and the subject line, along with a brief description of the information in those emails. Your attorney will be able to use that information to retrieve those emails during the discovery process. And keep notes about important calendar dates too. What dates did a meeting happen? Who was involved? And what was the subject of that meeting? Finally, file HR complaints. And this one might be the most important. When you witness some illegal employment practice like discrimination, harassment, or anything else, make a written report and submit it to your HR department using whatever procedures they have in place. But do it in writing and keep a copy. These HR complaints are incredibly important in employment cases. If your claim is retaliation, the HR complaint can form the basis of your protected activity. If your claim is discrimination, this HR complaint can be evidence of ongoing discriminatory treatment. And if your claim is harassment, this complaint will put your employer on notice of the harassment. Now, there's a bunch of other ways to create a written record too, so just use your imagination to come up with ways. But make sure not to steal any company documents and do not record other people without their permission. It may violate a law in your state. My second tip is to tell people. Remember what I said earlier, you want to avoid a he said, she said situation. So you want as much evidence as possible to back up your claim. And we've already talked about generating written evidence. The next kind of evidence that will help your case is witness statements. And telling people about your employer's illegal practices will help you get witnesses. First, when you tell people at work about what's happening, they'll probably start to pay attention and they'll notice the illegal employment practices. Because if you don't tell anyone, it's possible that no one will even know what's going on. And if that's the case, defense will certainly use that against you to try to discredit what you're saying. And at the very least, those people that you tell will be able to testify that you told them about it, which is evidence in itself. And finally, probably the most important person you can tell is your HR representative, for all the reasons that we discussed earlier. HR complaints can form the basis of your employment claim, so tell HR and do it in writing. My final tip is to not engage. Employment cases usually involve terrible and traumatic experiences. And it's totally valid to get outraged when somebody says something horrible or fires you for some illegal reason. But you have to keep your composure. Because if you react in a hostile way, the employer is going to argue that you were part of the problem. And sometimes they win that argument. If it's harassment, they can argue that you incited the harassment. If it's retaliation, they can argue that the way you complained was the reason they fired you. And there's a bunch of other scenarios that I'm not going to get into in this video. But the best thing you can do to avoid all those issues is just simply not engage. If you're being harassed, simply tell the harasser to stop and report the harassment to HR immediately. If you're being terminated or demoted for some illegal reason, just accept what the company is telling you and then contact an employment lawyer as soon as possible. So there you go. Those are my top 3 tips to help you win your employment case. If you write everything down, tell people about the illegal conduct, and refrain from reacting in a hostile way, you will be in a much better position to win your case. If you think your employer subjected you to an illegal employment practice in Washington State, feel free to reach out to my firm. And if you found this video helpful, hit that like button and subscribe to my channel. It helps other workers find these videos. And the more we hold employers accountable for their wrongdoing, the more we protect other workers. That's all for me this week. See you next time.